Well, he calls himself a polar explorer, but it was his dream to become an astronaut.
I didn't quite make it into space. Antarctica is probably the closest you can get to visiting a different planet.
The polar world is something he's really become obsessive about. We've got a polar bookshelf and it's got every book.
He's very good at focusing on one thing and focusing very hard on it.
I'm not some sort of genetically freakish or talented athlete. I'm pretty normal.
After he'd completed the Scott expedition, I kind of had the feeling that he would do something else.
When Ben told me he was going back to Antarctica, I wasn't surprised in the slightest.
The plan is to make a solo and unsupported crossing of Antarctica on foot. It's just over 1,000 miles in a straight line. I'm going to be pulling about 130 kilos.
It's a spectacular feat of ultra endurance.
He's thought about everything. The spreadsheets are quite something.
It's vital that I have the best clothing, the best equipment, the best technology, the best food, and that I'm as fit as I can be.
You can't just call for help, it's 3 days away sometimes.
My motivation for going back to Antarctica is coming from a very different place. Henry Worsley was a very good friend of mine. His plan was to make the first ever solo crossing of Antarctica unsupported, on foot, almost the same route that Shackleton had planned to make. He was on the ice for nearly 3 months. During the journey, fell ill. It's 3 days away from finishing it. He was flown out to hospital in the south of Chile. 24 hours later, had died. It was a huge shock. I think my initial reaction was that I didn't want anything more to do with polar expeditions ever again. Like, it just seemed so tragic and the cost just seemed just so high. And it took several months for me to start thinking, someone's going to finish this journey at some point. He was a friend of mine. There's the chance here, perhaps, for me to honour that friendship and the inspiration that he gave me, to build on the legacy that he left.